When you pore over every detail in a game, looking for secrets, you wind up focusing on some pretty weird stuff. But this might be my strangest obsession yet. I just noticed that the start of House of Ashes is set at the wrong time of day. As Nick Cave falls down into the pit, we learn that it's 1900 hours, or 7 p.m. We have to assume this is Arabian Standard Time, which is Greenwich Mean Time plus 3. This creates a bit of a problem, since the whole first act seems to be set during the day, and the shafts of light that shine down into the ruins, damaging the bat monsters, are kind of central to the experience. What's the problem? Well, my prediction is that House of Ashes is set on May 30th, 2003, for reasons I'll get into later. And on that day, at 7 p.m. in the evening, the sun was an hour away from setting. Considering that the village the characters were investigating seems to be in a mountain valley, it's entirely possible that direct sunlight should have stopped hitting the village at all by 7 p.m. As a result, all of these underground scenes could not have had direct sunlight in them at the time when they take place. Here's a little sketch I drew which outlines the issue. When you're dealing with a hole in the earth, in order to create the spotlight effect, where Merwin is hanging inside a pool of light, the sun must be directly overhead. Solar noon, when shadows are right under your feet. Depending on where you are in a time zone, this can happen anywhere between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. Solar noon is when the sun is directly perpendicular to the earth in your location. For the purposes of this sketch, let's call that 90 degrees. So dawn happens at 0 degrees way over here, noon is at 90 degrees, and sunset is at 180 degrees, with the sun moving along this arc at a steady rate. Based on this, at 7 p.m. the sun would be here, at around the 165 degree mark on the arc. Now here's the angle at which the sun would be hitting the hole in the ground. So unless gravity has gone nuts and Merwin is actually hanging sideways, this scene can't have this lighting. Luckily, this is an incredibly easy fix. Just change the number on screen and have the game start at noon. That seems like a more logical time to get to a village you're planning to search anyhow, rather than 90 minutes before sunset. Of course, doing this would raise some questions later in the game about how long they've been down in the caves. But really, what's an audience more likely to notice? That it's obviously noon when the game says it's 7 o'clock, or that night lasted a few more hours longer than it should have? You know, this might be my most weirdly specific critique ever. Oh, and just in case I'm wrong about what specific day in 2003 the game is set on, even if this were all taking place on the longest day of the year, June 21st, 2003, sunset would have only been 10 minutes later than on the 30th of May. I'd say that next time I'll explain why I think the game is set on May 30th, but since that's part of my ending prediction video, obviously I'm going to hold it until a little closer to release, because if I'm right, it's just a stupidly big spoiler. I've been the Hidden Object Guru, thanks for watching. If you haven't already, please remember to like and subscribe. Special thanks go out to my patrons, Desire, Marissa, Brian, Joanne, Eduardo. If you'd like to support the channel, so I can continue making videos like this one, check out the Patreon link in the description below the video. If there's any topics you'd like to see covered, be sure to mention it in the comments section. See you back here for more dark pictures, but until then, au revoir.